Hi everyone, it's Misty from the Jellyfin Elf. Welcome back to another Stampin' for Newbies episode. Today we are talking about cutting and scoring paper. So I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite tools for cutting paper and scoring. So let's get started. So the first way that you cut paper is probably the most obvious way, and that's with scissors. So there are two pair of scissors that I recommend. The first is a really good pair of paper snips. And let me see if I have those right here. I never do, though, do I? They're never just right where I can grab them. Oh, there they are. So I have these paper snips from Stampin' Up. And what makes these great is they have a really fine end. They're very sharp. And they're small enough and comfortable enough that you can do fussy cutting around images, etc. So these are a great pair. You can also get like the cutter bee scissors. Those are great as well, but you definitely need a pair of paper snips. And one thing to remember about your scissors, if you're going to be cutting paper and ribbon, you want a different pair for each because the paper will dull your ribbons or scissors and vice versa. So get you two pairs of scissors, one that is strictly for cutting paper and then a pair of scissors that you can use for other things. And the pair that I have for that are these Tim Holtz scissors from Tonic. These things are worth the price. They're a little bit pricey. I think they're close to $20, but these will cut through anything. I've used them to cut through wire. I've used them to cut through rubber stamps. I've used them to cut ribbon, all sorts of things. They stay sharp. They're really great. They're a great grip. They're comfortable to use. They're really sharp, so you have to kind of be careful so you don't pinch yourself or whatever, but these are fantastic. You can find these online, or you can find them at Michael's or Joann's. I don't know about Hobby Lobby. I honestly haven't been to Hobby Lobby in a long time. That's a story for another day. So yeah, these are great. So first things first, you need two good pairs of scissors, a pair of scissors that's strictly to cut paper, and then a pair of scissors to cut everything else because you don't want to dull your scissors cutting other things. The next thing that you need is a really good paper trimmer. Now you guys know I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator and I love Stampin' Up products, but my absolute favorite paper trimmer is this one from Fiskars. And it's kind of hard to get the whole thing in. What I love about this paper cutter and why I think this is perfect for first-time crafters or those of us who've been crafting for years and years is that it has a wire guide, and it's really hard to see, but you can lock it and this moves up and down, but there's a wire guide. So when you put your paper in, and you guys have seen me do this before, you can line it up and know exactly where you're gonna cut. And what's that really great for is like if you've you've stamped the sentiment and you need to cut it in closer, or something like that. It's fantastic. This trimmer is awesome. And what's great about Fiskars is that you have a lifetime warranty. So this wire, I've cut it a couple of times, so I've actually replaced this part twice, and I just call them and they get a new one in the mail. They have these titanium blades, so the blades come in a package of 2. Looks like this. When you buy this trimmer, which you can pick up at your craft store, use a coupon. Sometimes you can also find it on sale at Tuesday morning, but this is what a blade looks like. So you just slide it on and it slides up and down, and then you can pick up more blades as you need them, depending on how many. These are the titanium. They're supposed to last for a long time, and they really do. But if you're someone like me who cuts hundreds of pieces of cardstock a month, you're gonna go through them a little bit faster. So, but for a newbie, I think this is a great trimmer. Now this is the one that swings out to 12 inches. If you are, or actually goes to 15 inches, if you are not going to be cutting paper larger than 8.5 by 11, there is a smaller trimmer that you want to invest in. But if you're ever going to be making 3D items or those kinds of things and you think you may use 12 by 12 paper, invest in this one. I think it runs $30. So if you use like a 40% off coupon or wait until Michael's has a 50% off coupon, you can get this for like 15, 16 bucks. It's fantastic. It's well worth the investment. Like I said, I love Stampin' Up, but this is the one trimmer. This is the one tool that I just, the one Stampin' Up has doesn't have a wire guide, and that wire guide has saved me so many times. So if you're going to invest in one, get this one. It's fantastic. So scissors and a paper trimmer. Next thing that you can use to cut paper are punches. So Stampin' Up has the best punches ever, and there are all sorts of punches. You can make labels, you can punch confetti, you can make you can make tags, you can make a tree or frosting, you can make a bow, all sorts of things. And these are really easy. You just open it, put your piece of paper in, voila, note tag. So punches are a great way. They're great to add to your repertoire or to your, excuse me, to your stash. What I suggest as far as paper punches is for you to pick ones that you know that you're going to get a lot of use out of. Now I have more because I'm a demonstrator and I like to demonstrate more than that. But when I first started, actually the first few ones I bought was a scallop circle and a circle punch. Those are, you know, you can get a lot out of those. Get like the deco label and get the washi label, and you can make so many different cards with those. There's also an itty bitty punch pack. I mean, they really are great. If you go through the Stampin' Up catalog, there are, and I don't have mine with me, there are pages where these stamp sets are highlighted in an ivory color. That means they coordinate with a punch, and so many of our stamp sets coordinate with a matching punch. And that's one of the great things that I love about Stampin' Up is I tell you, everything coordinates. Paper matches cardstock, and dies match frames, and punches match stamp sets. So it's really, dies match frames. Dies match stamps, and so do punches. So fantastic. And let me actually move these out of the way because we're talking about cutting first. The last and final thing that you can use to cut paper are dies. And these are still rolled dies. Stampin' Up calls them framelits or thinlits, and you actually need to have a die cutting machine in order to use these. So the one that we carry and the one that is fantastic is the Big Shot. Let me pull that over in here. You guys have seen me use this 1,001 times, so I'm not going to actually demonstrate it. But this machine will do two things. It will cut paper for you. It will also emboss paper for you. So it can be a little pricey. It's $99, I believe, through Stampin' Up. But one of the great things about buying this from Stampin' Up is you get a warranty with it. And I got mine and it wasn't cutting quite even when I got it, and it was frustrating me to death. And I finally called Stampin' Up and they said, we're going to send you a new one, send the old one back. And I was like, oh, okay. That was easy. So it's a really great tool. I've actually upgraded from, I did have a Cuttlebug. The only reason why I suggest getting a Big Shot rather than a Cuttlebug is because the Cuttlebug is smaller in size and it limits you to how wide your dies can be. So Stampin' Up has some pretty wide dies, one of them being the mini treat bag die, that will fit on a Big Shot no problem. It will not fit on a Cuttlebug at all. So it's a little bit pricier, but it's worth the investment. I promise you, you will get so much use out of the Big Shot. It's so amazing. Like, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it has a magnetic platform and all sorts of accessories to go with it. You can use the big Sizzix dies. I don't know if you guys were ever, remember using those big dies when you were in school. Let me find one. These kind of dies. So this is a Sizzix die, but you can also use like the Tim Holtz dies, the what are those called? Is it AccuCut? Epson? What is Allison? Ugh, brain. I believe those will fit through here as well. So if you're a teacher, talk about an awesome tool, you know, to use in your classroom to cut letters, to cut, you know, all sorts of things. So it really is a great product. And again, you know, you can get it at a craft store, but I really recommend going ahead and getting it from Stampin' Up! So you have that that warranty, because of course, you know, some stores will only let you bring it back, you know, 30, 60, or 90 days, and this gives you, you know, 365 warranty at least. It may be 2 years, but I'm pretty sure it's at least 1 year. So that's cutting paper. So again, you need 2 good pairs of scissors. You need and a paper trimmer. The rest of this is kind of extra. Those are the basics that you really have to have. The rest of these, if you're really serious about getting into paper crafting, you really want to invest in tools. And the great thing about these tools is they'll last you for a really, really long time. So now let's move on to scoring paper. So when you cut cardstock, you need to be able to score it. So I tell you guys that I have 3 tools that I use. The first is you need a bone folder, and a lot of them come with it. Like this is the Martha Stewart one, and comes with this little one. This Stampin' Up! One comes with a stylus, but a good bone folder will save your life. You guys have seen me run this, you know, on adhesive. I've used it to smooth down cardstock so it lays flat. You can actually use it, you know, on your scoreboard to score. The whole purpose of a bone folder and a scoring tool is to fold your cardstock without it ripping, tearing, or breaking. So you guys have seen me do this before. So here's a piece of paper, and you score it. So if I just try to fold it, it gets that kind of edge on it where it looks like it's going to break and it's cracking. But if I score it, then it folds right in half. And of course I scored it crooked because hello, it's me. But it scores without cracking, bending, warping, or tearing. So there are 2 tools that I recommend. If you are just going to be making cards and that's all you think you're ever going to make, you can totally get away with purchasing this one from Martha Stewart Crafts. This is a small one. It only scores up to 6 3/4 inches. So you can't do anything longer than a standard size card. You just won't be able to. This thing is fantastic. You guys normally see me use this the most because it fits on my desk. Now, if you think, and I mentioned this before, if you ever think, let me put this away. If you ever think that you will want to make 3D items, boxes, bags, envelopes, score a larger, you know, a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, then I suggest you get a big scoring tool. And this is a Simply Scored tool from Stampin' Up! This is what it looks like. And the great thing, there are 2 great things about this. First is it's 12 by 12. Yes, sign me up. The second is it comes with a stylus. So this is a stylus. So you can do so many things with this. The main thing is you can score. And not only can you score for card bases, but you can score lines for decorations, or you can trace around a framelit to just, you know, score a shape onto, look at this, it looks like a lion. I always think this looks like a lion. Sorry, lane swerve. So, but yeah, so, and then the last thing it comes with, which I think is fantastic, are these little place markers. So once you know your measurements, you can pull these out, and let's say I'm gonna be, you know, right here I was scoring those baby shower invitations. So I knew I needed to score at 2 3/8 and then 7 1/8, and it helped me, guide me that way I could see it, because sometimes, you know, the lines can get a little wavy if you look at it long enough. So yeah, so this is, again, a little on the pricey side, but totally worth it. That's one thing you have to remember, and I think I kind of touched on this when you first get into crafting. It's really easy to think that you want to just buy cheap product and you know, just to get started crafting. But if you're really serious about this, if you really think this is something that you want to do long term, or if you really want to, you know, hone this craft and enjoy this hobby for many years to come, invest in quality tools. If I had any piece of advice I can give you, it's that, because I have basically almost repurchased everything that I bought in the beginning, either from Stampin' Up! Or from other places, because I just bought what I thought I wanted or needed, and I didn't really pay attention to quality and those kinds of things. And you really, really, really want to do that. So yeah, okay guys. So far we've talked about stamping, stamps, we've talked about paper, we've talked about ink, and we've talked about scoring our cardstock. So next time we're going to talk about embossing, and we're going to talk about heat embossing and dry embossing. So thanks so much. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section down below. Find me on social media. Give this video a big thumbs up if it's helping you at all. Make sure you check out Jolly Mail. August is closed, but September is going to be fantastic. If you're a Halloween person, you're going to love it. So thanks guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.